What is up, guys? Today there was a weapon update for a lot of the weapons in Fortnite Chapter 3, rebalancing some of the more overpowered weapons and trying to bring up some of the weaker weapons. If you guys do enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below if you think this update was enough to actually change the Fortnite meta. So for starters, the Stinger SMG and the MK7 assault rifle were both nerfed in this update, and the auto shotgun was buffed. All of these changes are very minor though. None of these weapons really got nerfed into the ground or buffed to the point where it's going to be like the new most overpowered broken thing in the game. Starting with the Stinger SMG, this got damage reduction by 2 for every rarity, including the mythic one, which isn't out yet. So the white Stinger submachine gun will hit for 16 now. The green one will hit for 17. The blue one will hit for 18. The purple for 19, the gold for 20, and the mythic for 22. So when the mythic Stinger SMG does drop, it's essentially going to be the old gold Stinger SMG. So pretty overpowered. I don't think this nerf was enough to really like ruin the Stinger SMG or change the meta that significantly. Sure, you're probably going to take an extra bullet or two to get a kill with this thing, but what made it so insane was the fire rate and the accuracy, in my opinion. I would have liked to see them add more bloom to this SMG because we've had SMGs with this amount of damage in the past, but the reason why this one is so insane is because it has essentially no bloom. So if you're spraying someone's wall, it's really likely that you'll end up hitting them through the wall because of the lack of bloom. And if you're sitting on height just spraying down on somebody, I feel like you end up hitting a lot more shots with the Stinger SMG than previous SMGs because of how low the bloom is on the Stinger SMG. So I feel like a damage reduction is nice, but it would have also been nice to see like a flat damage reduction to builds and maybe increase to the bloom slightly just to make it a little less consistent, because everyone says spray and pray, but you really don't have to pray with the Stinger SMG because of how accurate it is. You could beam people across the map with this thing while firing full auto. So yeah, a step in the right direction, but they did not kill the Stinger SMG. The MK7 assault rifle's nerf was even more minuscule than that of the Stinger SMG. The damage was lowered by 1 for each rarity for the MK7. So just like the Stinger, this includes the mythic. So the white one will now hit for 20, the green for 21, the blue for 22, the purple for 23, the gold for 24, and the mythic for 25. The mythic also does have a fire rate increase on the MK7, and I feel like it has even less recoil. So the mythic will still be like really overpowered compared to the base version, but I don't think a lot of people are going to notice this nerf at all. If you have someone who's 100 HP with the white MK7, it's going to take 5 shots to kill because 20 times 5 is 100. At 21 damage, it also would have taken 5 shots to kill in the past. So I don't really think this changes the shots to kill too much. Obviously, it will in some instances because not everybody is at a flat HP number all the time. You know, sometimes you run into somebody who has like 50 white and 70 white and like 50 shield or whatever. So there will be instances where you notice this nerf, but I think this nerf is really minuscule and doesn't actually hit the gun that hard. I would have liked to see them add more recoil to the MK7 because one of the reasons why this gun is so broken is because it has no bloom, which is, it makes sense because it's a first person gun, but it also has no recoil. So there's no like difficulty or hindrance in using the weapon. You could just full spam all the time and the recoil is really low. I recently was playing Warzone for the past year when I took a break from Fortnite, and this would be the most broken gun in Warzone. Warzone is already like a really easy, low skill gap game, but the MK7 is just ridiculous in terms of how low recoil it is and how easy it is to use. So I would have liked to have seen them increase its recoil or make it harder to use in some way. I also wouldn't be opposed to it being projectile, so you would have to lead shots on opponents, but give it a really high bullet velocity to the point where you would only have to lead shots on people like in cars or in the sky. It would make it harder to shoot somebody who's like launch padding away. And I feel like the MK, you can just fry people out of the sky so easily. And it really changes the game with how people can just rely on this gun and play off this gun entirely for mid-range. And the next change they added is interesting. The auto shotgun got its reload time lowered by 1.5 seconds per rarity. So this is actually a pretty big change, but I don't think it's actually going to change like the lethality of the gun. It is nice that it'll reload faster, and that's one of the things that made the auto shotgun feel really clunky, especially if you had completely ran out of ammo and you were trying to like put shots in your shotgun and then shoot right away, like how you could with any other shotgun in Fortnite. Really, it just never really worked with the auto shotgun. So having a better reload speed will be nice, but but I don't really think that's going to change the gun too much, because what a lot of people didn't like about this gun was how weak it is and how inconsistent it is. It doesn't do the most damage, it does not have very good range, and it has a really large spread, which makes it hard to hit a lot of pellets out of your shot and get that consistent damage. So I would have liked to have seen them address that in some way. The reload speed is nice, like I said, like that is definitely one of the things that made this gun not fun to use. So it's going to feel a lot better now. But I would have liked to have seen like a slight increase in damage, maybe a slight range increase, or a tighter pellet spread to the point where you can hit a little bit more pellets out of every single shot and make the gun just a little more consistent for that reason. Because outside of like one box like distance, I feel like the auto shotgun is really irrelevant, and I think it's still going to be that way even with the reload speed buff. I do think this is a good change, though, and I'm interested to see like how the community reacts to this, but I don't think this is really going to change the meta much at all, or any of the changes will in this update. I think the game is still going to be very similar, and you can play pretty much identically to how you already were, and you're not really going to notice much of a difference. This was a very small patch. Maybe we'll get some more changes in the following weeks. I feel like a patch like this can be okay if they do another weapon update in like a week or two, and we just incrementally get closer to good weapon balance. But if it takes like another month and a half to get another update after this one, it's going to be really bad for Chapter 3, because I think the spray meta is still going to be very live and well after this update. What do you guys think of this update? Do you think it's going to change the meta? Are you excited to use the auto shotgun now over the pump, or are you going to continue using the pump, or are you just going to continue using double SMG? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys did find this helpful or informative, remember to give it a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. Thanks for watching.